What's going on YouTube? It's Lieutenant Cade, also known as Alvin the Director. It's the middle of March right now up here in Alaska, so it's starting to get pretty warm. We're in the double digits finally. So in a couple weeks, the snow is going to finally start to melt. I'm really looking forward to April so we can change from our Equics to OCPs. Equics are basically our cold weather uniforms that we wear from October to April up here in Alaska. And it's the outfit that I was wearing in the last video. And also in the last video, I also got promoted from second lieutenant to first lieutenant, which was my first promotion in the Army, which I'm really excited about. So thank you to everyone who reached out to me and said congratulations and everything. And you know, that truly means a lot because, you know, it's a promotion, first of many. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and talk about the topic of today's video, which is 10 tips for a brand new second lieutenant. If you've been following this channel for a long time, you know I started this channel talking about the military when I was going through OCS, which is Army Officer Candidate School, and I basically talked about my journey through OCS. So I wanted to give back with this video and just talk about some tips that might help out some OCS graduates and lieutenants who commission through ROTC when they prepare for their first duty station. And I truly hope that you find these tips helpful. Now let's go ahead and get into it. Number one, never lie. Plain and simple, never lie. Just don't do it. Be honest, be upfront, tell the truth. Just don't lie, don't do it. You're gonna get caught. And it's not a good thing. You don't want to be known as someone that's untrustworthy, so never lie. Number two, now this tip came from someone that I look up to in the Army, and he told me this and it pretty much stuck with me, and that's leave everything better than you found it. So no matter where you go in the Army, like no matter what unit you go to, no matter what shop you go to, leave everything better than you found it, and the world will be a much better place. Number three, learn from everyone. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone. It doesn't matter what their rank is. I learn a lot from my Joes or my privates all the time. I learn from my senior leadership. There's not anyone that you can't learn things from, whether that's just working with the DoD civilians when you're in your units, or just working with anyone. There's always something that you can learn, so you should be trying to learn every single day. And just don't think that you're too high and mighty to learn from someone that you outrank, because that's just not how the Army works. You're not going to be successful if you choose not to learn from pretty much everyone. So don't pick and choose who you can learn things from, because you can learn from everyone. Number four, recovery is just as important as training. Now, with that being said, there's going to be times in your Army career where training is just going to be nonstop, or it's going to feel nonstop rather, but you also have to be able to set aside time for recovery. Now, a recovery doesn't mean planning a 3 or 4 day, because you don't have the authority to do that as a second lieutenant. You can try to put in for a pass, if your command lets you do that, but that's not what I mean by recovery. What I mean by recovery is there's going to be times where you need to make sure that everything is good to go for the next mission. So for me, say we're setting up for a convoy like we did a couple weeks ago, I also want to set aside a couple days on my calendar where I can just focus on maintenance with my vehicle. So after PMCS, making sure that the weapons are clean at all times, and that everything is just good to go. Doing signal maintenance every Tuesday. We do that at least once a week. We do some sort of signal maintenance, if not more than that. So just setting aside days where you can truly recover, and you're not just focusing on training. It's kind of like a winding down period. So make sure that you set aside some time for recovery. Everything is not a priority. Now, this is very, very important. All right, so most of the time when you're a second lieutenant, you're going to get to your unit and they're going to throw you in some shop somewhere, probably a 3 shop, maybe the 4 shop, sometimes a 2 shop. Or if you're a signal like me, you might go to S6. So with that being said, everything's not a priority. So you're going to be sitting in these staff meetings, and you're going to hear from the battalion commander that you need to do this, 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 and this. But at the same time, he understands that everything, or she understands that everything just cannot be done. Everything is not a priority. If you're a platoon leader and your commander gives you a list of tasks, you're not going to be able to just accomplish everything. You need to prioritize your commander's intent and organize your game plan or your timeline based on what comes first, right? So everything is not number one on the list, and you have to it comes with some practice and getting to understand your commander and how they operate, but everything is not a priority. If you are a second lieutenant and you come in and you try to knock out every single thing that you're given right away, you're not going to be giving your 100% effort on every single task. So understand that everything's not a priority. If you need help understanding what the priorities are, ask. And that kind of leads me to the next point, which is no question is a dumb question. So this is also very important. When I sit in on my meetings and I don't know something, I'm not afraid to just flat out just ask. It might seem like a dumb question inside of your head, but at the same time, no question is a dumb question. So if you don't ask, you just won't know. So no question is a dumb question. And if you want more knowledge, you just sit there, ask a bunch of questions. Maintenance, maintenance, maintenance. You're gonna hear this a lot in the Army. Maintenance is pretty high on the priority list. If it's not number one, it's damn sure pretty close. Maintenance is an everyday thing. It's not a Monday thing. So with that being said, in the Army, the standard pretty much is motor pool Mondays. And motor pool Mondays are on Mondays, everyone's in the motor pool working on their vehicle, doing PMCSing, making sure other things are good to go for upcoming missions or for the week, doing dispatches and all that fun stuff. But maintenance is not just a Monday thing. Maintenance is truly an everyday thing. So if you only focus on maintaining your equipment one day out of the week, then your equipment is going to fail. There's no way that you can fully get all your equipment mission capable or fully mission capable on Monday and in just one single day. I mean, you just don't have enough time. It's impossible. So whenever there's downtime, if you can incorporate maintenance into your training schedules and your training calendars, add maintenance on there. Have your soldiers learn their equipment, understand their equipment, and it's a training tool. Maintenance is training. So use maintenance as a training block and make sure that your soldiers are able to cross-train on their equipment. Make sure that you understand your equipment and understand how to PMCS your equipment as well, because it's important. With the Army, a lot of people always say that the equipment is outdated. Hey, it's one of those things where it is what it is. But if you maintain your equipment, it is intended to last a long time. Number 8, build your network. This is important. Very, very important. So day 1, or day 0 rather, as soon as you arrive to Bullock, right after you commission as a second lieutenant, go ahead and start building your network with other lieutenants at Bullock. Don't be one of those people who kind of sit off in the corner and standoffish. You don't want to mingle. You don't want to talk to people. I'm not saying get all buddy-buddy with every single person, but you need to get to know people, because those are people that you're going to be able to reach out to. I reach out to my battles from Bullock and from OCS almost every single week, and there's like different tips and stuff that I learned that I can pass off to them, and they teach me things, and vice versa. And I mean, it's a simple text message or whatever. When you get to your actual unit, get to know everyone that works in the shops. Get to know those DoD civilians, because they will help you out a ton. They're there to help you. Some of them can be assholes, but for the most part, those people are there and in place to truly provide a service for you and help you out. Get to know S1 is very important, so get to know your S1 very, very well. Get to know the folks at like the Welcome Center or whoever processes, like your travel, finance, all that good stuff. You want to get to know as many people as you can, early on. Building that network is going to truly help you out as a lieutenant, because as you progress in your career, you're going to be able to use these people and lean on these people whenever there's things that you need to get done. And building your network early on will truly help you out. But if you try to fly under the radar and don't want to get out and mingle and get to know people, then it's going to make your job a lot harder. Number 9 is you are responsible for everything your team does or fails to do. Now, this is something that I see with a lot of first lieutenants that come in is they feel like it's just an I thing, or me thing. And they'll say, well, I did this, or, it wasn't my fault. And that's not true at all. You're responsible for everything your team does or fails to do. So if your team fails the mission, that means that you failed the mission as well, because you did not provide them what they needed in order to accomplish that mission. Now, you can take it how you want, but that's just the reality of it. The higher that you get up in the chain of command, the more responsibility that you have, but at the end of the day, you're still responsible for everything your team does or fails to do. And that's just a part of being a leader. So make sure that your team is equipped with everything that they need in order to be successful. And sometimes it takes you just getting down there with them and making sure that the task gets done. But at the end of the day, when you're in charge, that's just the reality of it. You're responsible for everything. everything. And the final tip that I want to leave you with is treat your soldiers like people. Soldiers are not machines at all. I know a lot of times we get pushed out a lot of things at once, a lot of tasks at one time, and it can be overwhelming at times in your career. But at the same time, like, you need to treat your soldiers like people. If there are things that you can kind of block your soldiers from or shield them from, do that, because you're going to be that kind of like that gate, that barrier between your leadership and your soldiers. So if you can block off some of the bullshit, do that. And kind of like how I talked about recovery earlier, it's the same thing with your soldiers. They have families, they have personal lives as well. So if they're just go at all times, then their efficiency it's gonna drop. Even with your best soldiers, like, they need time to just kind of get back to equilibrium. There's going to be times in the Army where you're going to have no choice but to work early mornings and late nights. But if you don't have to do that, don't do it. Let your soldiers go home early if they get everything done. I'm not really big on forcing my soldiers to stay until 1700 every single night if they get the task done, because my soldiers understand that how I work is, if you do your job and you do everything to the standard, then I'm going to allow you to take personal time. If you need an extended lunch to knock out personal matters, then go do that. It's really about just sitting down, talking to your soldiers, understanding their needs. Every single soldier is different, so you can't treat soldier A as you do soldier B. You have to sit down, get to understand your soldiers and how they work, how they think, and things that motivate them. I know for some soldiers, they're really, really big on just independence. So if they're doing a really good job, then I know for a fact they don't need that extra NCO just behind their back at all times, making sure that they get on top of their task, because they're gonna do it. Where other soldiers, they might need a little bit more guidance. They might need someone to kind of follow them around a little bit more to make sure they're getting their job done. But at the same time, you need to remember that these soldiers are people, and you're not a machine, and your soldiers aren't machines. So if you don't want to sit there and work non-stop early mornings and late nights every single day, make sure that you're not doing the same thing with your soldiers. So your soldiers are people. Treat them like people, and they will respect you for that. Soldiers, they see through the bullshit very, very easily. So if you're one of those leaders, those second lieutenants who come in just too headstrong and just want to go and not think about the needs of your soldiers, then they're gonna lose some respect for you. So remember that is very, very important. Now, with these 10 tips, they're not the only tips for second lieutenant coming in straight out of BOLC or commissioning right away. These are also tips that you can use throughout your Army career. There's more tips that I do have, and I'm going to share them in other videos, but these are the 10 that I want to share with you all that I feel like are some of the most important things that can help you out with your career. And I don't know all the answers. I don't have all the answers. Like I said, I just promoted to first lieutenant, so I'm not too far removed from getting to my duty station up here and commissioning as a second lieutenant. So there's still a lot that I'm learning, but I wanted to share that with you all, because as I get new lieutenants that come up to the unit, I try to do the best that I can to reach out to them and kind of help them out, so that they have that I guess person to kind of lean on a little bit, instead of just trying to figure out everything on their own. So if you have any questions about anything that I talked about in this video, be sure to leave them in the comments below. I love to hear from you all. And hey, we're not too far from 5K subs right now. So right now, I think I'm right about 4.9. So let's try to shoot to 5K. I really want to hit 5K by the end of the month. So if I can do that, I'll be pumped up. You all have been great, very supportive of this channel. And again, thank you to all who have been just supporting nonstop, especially over the last couple months. I've been getting a lot of love with the past few videos that we've been doing. So thank you all so much for your support, and I'll continue to put out more videos for you all. I'm Alvin the Director, and I'm out.